Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to YouTube and to Good Morning Intuition. Come on in. Oh, you guys are just jumping in and ready. Good morning, Gigi and Carol. Hi there. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Take a few deep breaths for me. Clear the energy around you and make room for space inside to feel the feelings, get the guidance, receive the messages for today and the future you're creating. It's a little bright right there. I'm going to shut my blinds. Hold on a sec. That's a little better. Well, I have a really cool practice planned for us today, so I'm glad you're here. Come on in. All right, I'll get our goody burning for us here. Welcome, everybody. Come on in. Let's do a prayer. God, spirit, guides, ascended masters, angels, loved ones, ancestors, spirit helpers of any kind, anywhere. We just are humbled at the opportunity to be able to receive your guidance. We ask that you bless our practice today and every day. Please open our psychic hearing to hear your messages. Please open our psychic seeing so that we can see your visions. Please open our psychic feeling gently so that we would know how to be guided by what is true inside of us. And open our knowing that we may instantly be able to receive downloads and messages, directions and course corrections, and that all of it would come through loud and clear. I ask that you bless the volume and the strength of our intuition to always be correlating with what the circumstance ahead of us calls for. That is either being loud and really powerful, or at times a bit shut down so we could take rest and recuperation. We thank you so much for our gifts. We thank you so much that our gifts connect us to you. We thank you for our psychic and intuitive practices. We thank you for everything that keeps us and our family and our loved ones safe. We ask you to bless everyone for the highest good and know that our intuition is to help carry out that will. With that, I say amen, and so it is. Welcome. Hi, AF Pulley, welcome. Come on in. Okay. So do you guys want to know what we're going to do today? I feel like telling you early just for fun. So after our gratitude list and after our 5 claircognizant 1-minute hits, we're going to do a meditation where we actually see the colors of our aura. And then I have a published booklet that I used to do aura readings. And so I have a published booklet that actually gives the insight as to the colors and the different areas that you see them and what it means. It's general. Of course, there can be exceptions to the rule when I'm tuning into someone in particular, but there's a lot of guidance you can get about your colors and where you feel them. And so we're going to have like a whole little aura mini workshop at the exercise part of our practice today. So if that is interesting to you, stay on or come back on the replay. And I think you're going to love it. Every time I do this with people, they love it. So anyways, let's start out our gratitude practice today. Grab your handy notebook and a pen. And remember, our gratitude practice is a practice that's really supposed to get us into our psychic feeling, our clairsentience. Because when we feel grateful, we're aligning our psychic feeling. We're turning on our feelings. We're turning them on. And so that can help us in our psychic practice and obviously gives us the right mindset for the day as well. So our gratitude list today, we're going to compile a list of things that make life worth living right now. So today, our gratitude list is going to be about things that make life worth living right now. This should be a fun list. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate you being here. Welcome, welcome. So, gratitude list, things that make life worth living right now. Let's go. Here we go. Okay, take just another minute or two. Again, our gratitude list, things that make life worth living right now. Okay, go ahead and wrap that up. We are going to jump into our 1 minute claircognizant hits. I have question number 1 ready for us. Again, the 1 minute claircognizant hits are a way to sort of manufacture our getting out of our own way. It is a way to simulate a instant download that doesn't get clouded by our own ideas and perceptions and filtering systems. So the idea that you only have 1 minute to write sort of forces you to get it out while you can, and that helps the flow of the message come in without being tainted by our doubt or worry or evaluation or anything like that. So a 1 minute claircognizant hit is a great way to suspend disbelief. Just write down the message. You can always pick it apart later to decide how you felt about it, right? But I do know that whether it feels like your inner wisdom or it feels like spirit is talking to you, it's the same beautiful place that is where your spirit resides, where that information comes from. It is both inside of us and outside of us. It is both in our body and part of our soul, and also part of spirit and the greater everything. Okay, so however it feels when you answer these questions, you are tapping into the right source, whether it feels like you or spirit. It'll feel like wisdom either way. So as long as it feels like wisdom, you're right on the money. Okay, just wanted to context that. We don't talk about that every day. So, okay, so 1 minute claircognizant hits. Here's question number 1. Here we go. Spirit, what has made a positive impact on my spiritual growth lately? Spirit, what has made a positive impact on my spiritual growth lately? Question number 1 is, Spirit, what has made a positive impact on my spiritual growth lately? That's question number 1. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Hey, Lizzie. Good morning from Mexico. Hi. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so go ahead and wrap up question number 1. We are going to get ready to write down and answer question number 2. Okay, here we go. Question number 2. Question number 2 is Spirit is comparing myself to others something I can heal, and how? Spirit is comparing myself to others something I should heal, and how? This one was inspired by a conversation I had with Spirit yesterday. It was brought to my attention that people sometimes struggle to be able to celebrate other people's wins because when they see somebody winning, they feel like they're losing. And I understand it comes from a place of hurt and brokenness, and I want to be sensitive to that. But it's really important that we check ourselves when it comes to that situation and we allow ourselves the opportunity to release the old programming and allow Spirit to come in and let us know that we are special in the ways that are necessary for us to fulfill our particular mission. There is no value hierarchy among anybody. We are all valuable, no matter what differences we have or differences in accomplishments. So Spirit asked me to put this question on our practice today. Spirit is comparing myself to others something I should heal. If you don't identify with having done this, maybe it kind of takes a different spin. But if this is something you struggle with for fear of any insecurity, then ask Spirit today, is comparing myself to others something I should heal, and how? Just a context where this is coming from. So get your pen, 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Again, Spirit is comparing myself to others something I should heal, and how? Here we go. Okay, take just another moment to wrap up. Question number 2. Okay, question number 3. Here we go. Get ready for question number 3. Good morning. Hi, everybody in the chat. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, number 3 is, Spirit, how will my purpose find me? Spirit, how will my purpose find me? Some of you may already be dialed into something that you would adhere to as kind of like a purpose or a mission. Some people feel a little bit more confused when they think of the idea of their purpose or their mission. And I like to tell people it's not always so blaring for everyone. It's something that can also interchange with different missions and different purposes over the span of a lifetime. There's not always just one. That's a misconception. There can be as many. We're a dynamic existence. There can be many purposes and missions over a lifetime. But think about just like what your perfect expression of participation in the collective and maybe even service would be, and ask yourself with your heart, Spirit, how will my purpose find me? How will my purpose find me? And whether that's something that's defined or still feeling vague, see what Spirit comes up with for this. Okay. Number 3, Spirit, how will my purpose find me? Here we go. All right. Go ahead and wrap up question number 3. And I like question number 4. Question number 4 is, Spirit, was it a synchronicity or a coincidence? And think about whatever circumstance pops into your head here, whatever circumstance pops into your head, and know that it's time to ask Spirit, was it synchronicity or a coincidence? I love it. Okay, so Spirit, was it a synchronicity or a coincidence? Question number 4, 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Okay, we've got our last question that we are up and ready for. Last 1 minute claircognizant hit. Let's wrap up number 4. And here is question number 5. Spirit, what unfamiliar thing should I explore? Question number 5 is Spirit, what unfamiliar thing should I explore? Open yourself to goodness and new possibilities. Spirit, what unfamiliar thing should I explore? Okay, question number 5. Here we go. 1 minute on the clock. Oh, my chimes. Whenever I hit my chimes, I know my grandfather's with me. These were the chimes that were up. One time I was married. I was married one time. And at our ceremony, I had these wind chimes up to represent my grandfather being present. And he had passed a year or two before that. So every time I bump my chimes, I know he's saying hello. Okay. So that is our 5 1-minute claircognizant hits. Good job. Good job. Good job. Okay, now we're going to do something that I promised would be super fun. And we're going to do a aura color discovery. So I'm going to lead you through a quick visualization where we notice the primary color that's around you, sort of like the secondary color that's around you. And then I'm going to give you an option to look a little more specifically at like certain areas to see if you see like a splotch or a splash of color that's maybe not one of your primary colors that's all around you, but something else around you that is also notable. Okay. So I'm going to give you those 3 simple prompts, and you're going to write down what colors you saw and where you saw them. And then I'm going to do some sharing, and I'm going to define some of the different characteristics of the colors and give you a little bit of information about what the areas in which the colors you saw are, some context for that as well. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this. Go ahead and take a deep breath. Close your eyes for me and find a comfy position. And we're not going to go to the space of great white light today. We're just actually going to be right here and right now. So we'll start off our meditation with a moment of silence to drop into the space. Okay, wonderful. So, the first thing I want you to do is on the count of 3, I would like you to imagine, not an aura, just imagine with your imagination a series of colors for me, okay? So it's almost like seeing colors in your mind's eye. This is not seeing your aura yet. We're just using our imaginations to remember in our spiritual and inner vision what certain colors look like. Okay, this is a clairvoyant skill. So, on the count of 3, I want you to see the color red in your mind's eye. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Recall red. Recall it in your mind's eye. See the color red. Remember its glow. Remember its warmth. And now I'd like you to imagine the color orange. Think about its brightness. Just think of the color orange. Just think of it. And now think of the color yellow. Its joyous brightness. Its citrus color. Just think of it. I'd like you to think of the color green. Just think of it. See it in your mind's eye. Feel the color green. It's funny how the word warmth kind of describes red, but we lose the ability to describe some of the other colors. So don't worry about what the word is, but feel it. Feel green and what green feels like to you. I'd like you to imagine the color purple. Imagine the color purple. Good. And we often imagine the color white. Imagine the color white. And I'm going to add a couple more colors into here, which aren't necessarily the chakra colors. I'd like you to imagine the color magenta. Magenta. It's bright cherry pink color, a combination of bright red and pink. Now I'd like you to imagine teal, a combination of blue and green. Good, good, good. So with these impressions of colors, I hope that it will prime the pump for you to be able to tune into the colors around you. So what we're going to do first is we are going to actually, with our hands stretched out in front of us a little bit, if you'd like to use your hands, sometimes this helps clairsentience along with their clairvoyant visions, and you can use those two tandem. Otherwise, if you are very clairvoyant and you're comfortable seeing, and the exercise of seeing colors for you is very easy, you may not need to use your hands at all. But the first thing I want you to do is I want you to imagine that you're observing the energy around your body. I call a primary color the color that you shine the most. The color that you shine the most. So I want you to take your hands and put them over your heart. And I want you to say, shine bright, shine bright, shine bright. And whether you feel the colors just outside of you with open hands, or you can visualize them with your heart or your mind's eye, I want you to notice which frequency of color is your first impression. Your first impression because it is your primary color, the color you are the most. Don't overthink it. It's just a frequency, just like the colors we just mentioned. Imagine that color. And imagine how it is around you. A primary color usually is all around you. sort of evenly in your space, mostly all the way around you. So ask yourself, when I visualize myself, and don't overthink it, it's just a frequency, it's a vibration. Like if I said, is it a low pitch sound or a high pitch sound? You can recognize color like that too. So just recognize what color comes up. And now thinking about a secondary color, a color that's there just as much, maybe a little less, but it's definitely the other dynamic to your primary color. For me, I always sense my primary color is red, and I sense my secondary color a lot of times is yellow or orange. And now I'd like you to look in the different areas around you and just say, if I was a painting, would I have a splash of color anywhere else? Would I have a splash of color anywhere else? And for me, I sort of have a silver lining around me, except for it's not silver for me, it's magenta. So ask yourself, what comes to mind? And again, don't be worried that you're using your imagination. It's the same place where you detect and see colors and frequencies. So remember your 3 colors that came to you. And when you're ready, I want you to open your eyes. Okay. We are not all award-winning artistes. We are not all award-winning artists. But I do recommend that you draw a little person in your notebook and draw an idea of what you saw around your primary, secondary color, and maybe your splash of color. Sometimes it's all the way around, just like in different layers. Other times the splash is just on one side, or it's in front of you or behind you or in front of your heart. Okay. So take a little moment to sketch that, and then take a little moment to write down the colors. And then I am going to present you some concepts around your colors. Okay. So like I said, I always feel that I'm very red, I'm very passionate, very fiery, and very tenacious. So my red often is just like boom, red. And then my orange and yellow is where kind of like my creativity comes in. And then my magenta, believe it or not, I've done a lot of aura activities and research and photos and all of that. And my magenta is turned on only when I'm channeling. When I'm not channeling or doing psychic work, my magenta kind of goes away. But when I've been deep into the process of channeling or doing my psychic work, my magenta lights up and it's just all around me. Sometimes it looks purple even, but typically mostly magenta. Okay. So anyways, note what you see there. All right. I'd love to hear in the chat what colors you had and where. Will you tell me your primary, your secondary, and your splash of color? I would love to hear what you have. Let me know what that was like for you in the chat. Okay. So you guys ready to talk about colors? Okay. So as I mentioned, the color red is very passionate. It's also very courageous. It's driven by desire, will, and drive. It also is a very powerful color. It also is holds with it a lot of vitality and strength and leadership. It's a very grounding force. Red is powerful. It's tenacious. It has the natural understanding of physicality and enjoys manifesting desires in a physical sense. The red people often have a mission to integrate something higher into a lower vibration to build a bridge, if you will. Okay, so if you have a tactical or a strategic method about your mission, then you may have come with the red aura in your space. Often red people are very powerful, and sometimes red gets a bad rap because some people think red means anger when it just actually means passion. More of a brownish, icky, blackish red can mean anger sometimes. And the passionate person can be short tempered potentially and has a tendency to sort of erupt with their frustration, if they are just feeling triggered. They can be impulsive and risk taking, but that also could be a good thing. So when it's dull and kind of feeling icky, that's the red having their negative aspects showing up. But when it's beautiful, bright, shiny, ruby red, it's actually a beautiful power color. So, okay, cool. Okay, you said glittery. I'll address that. I'll address that too. Good. Okay, Carol says green and blue. Um, Lizzie, thanks, Lizzie. Okay, glitter is the primary, purple with gold splash. Okay, sunshine yellow, more crystalline, green heart. Have a green heart. Yeah, Lizzie, we'll talk about green in a minute, but as long as that green was the beautiful jewel color, like an emerald, it does mean that the heart is healthy and that there's healing going on there. It also is an aspect of your personality, not just your physical health, although the two are definitely tied together. Okay, we didn't imagine pink, but a lot of people get pink in particular, like a cotton candy pink. So in case anybody in the replay is listening and they got pink, let's talk about pink, okay? Pink is definitely love and sincerity, a lot of times associated with friendship and compassion. It's giving, it's romantic, it's generous, it's beautiful, it's faithful, it's soft, it's gentle. Pink people are gentle in nature. They radiate pleasant, loving energy. They often do best in pleasant, gentle spaces. They totally embrace the ideals of romantic love. They're often, the romantics of the world. They also have this kind of vibe about them that makes everybody else really feel very safe. And pink is part of their healing mission and healing power. It's really important that a pink make sure they're not constantly, you know, helping the lost boy or the lost girl as a syndrome, not like constantly seeking rescuing others. A dull or murky pink can be even victimhood. And it's not that I'm saying that you guys are, victims. It's just that the pink color is also close to, like if you've ever heard of people talk about earth angel, kind of like realms and people who, have angelic energy about them. The angelic energy is very much about service, but when you put it in the 3D, a lot of it sometimes can even trigger a little bit of codependency or the idea that you can save people and kind of maybe taking people for what you see in them versus what they're offering you. So it's really important that you don't get worn out pink. Okay. So protect yourself because you are soft. Okay, magenta. Magenta is so cool. It's free spirited. It's an individualist. Can be creativity. It can be a spiritual color. It's a magnetic color. It's something that marches to its own beat. It feels different about things than the average person. The color magenta is actually a combination of red, blue, and white frequencies. Therefore, they can also have the traits of red and blue. Write that down if you saw magenta, because you might also listen into those colors. It's highly creative, and when combined with red, which is the capacity for like groundedness, and blue, which is kind of like creative thinking, the combination of magenta is really good for your creative work. So it's really funny because when I channel spirit, not only do I have some purple and some white, which is like my spirit colors, but it activates my magenta because my calling is to create and to share, be creative when it comes to my sharing and my intuition. So it makes a lot of sense that magenta would be sort of my channeling color, right? Shadow aspects of magenta can be a tendency to lose sight of your own truth if you are thinking more about the creation and the outcome versus the process being authentic. It's like we can focus a little bit too much on the outcome rather than the process. Okay. So just magentas, be aware that you want to keep the situation that you're creating not driven by a result, but driven by the process. Okay. Orange. Let's talk about orange. Orange is creativity. warmth, inspiring, confident, sociable, perceptive, uplifting, relatable, thoughtful. Orange is a really cool color. Its exchange is pleasant. It's got a high value, high frequency. It is very, very, very joyful. It's relating also to resources like money, time, and energy. It's really, really a good color to connect with the frequency of giving and receiving and exchanges. So it's really important for orange auras to always feel like their exchanges are meeting their needs. Okay. It also has the leadership ability of relatability and sociability, sociability being social. So the leadership skills in particular that apply to orange is the exchanging that you're doing with others. Shadow aspects of orange when it's murky or icky could be loss of self-esteem or someone whose worth is based on what other people think, putting a little too much importance on that exchange and what other people are thinking of you, taking their concepts for face value instead of adhering to your own identity. So make sure, orange, that you're not putting too much stock into that exchange and what others think of you versus what you know to be true about yourself. Okay, Lizzie said yellow. And who else said? Okay, gold would be also a form of yellow as well. Okay, a form of it. Use your intuition to know the difference between yellow and gold, but they're similar colors. So Lizzie, you're yellow, by the way. Joyful, bright, cheerful, enthusiastic, optimistic, intellectual, open-minded, and fun. Yellow aura's frequency resonates with the vibration of confidence, happiness, strong sense of self, and the ability to inspire others and achieve greatness. People who have yellow are positive and motivate others. They also encourage and support others by naturally being themselves, and they just radiate like the sun, shine everybody with their warmth. So it's less of an exchange like it is with orange and more of an influence and impact when you're a yellow. It's also just really, really, really driven by high frequency ideas like joy, generosity, and things like giving, not necessarily in exchange, but more of an impact way of giving. Shadow aspects of yellow can be hyperactivity. Make sure you are focused on your bedtime and your routines that help you shut your energy down so that you can keep your yellow energy sharp when it is turned on. You want to make sure also to watch having such an energy that you accidentally over influence somebody and you are misinterpreted. So, what I mean by that is yellows can sometimes have a really strong opinion about things, and you may share an opinion where someone else thinks it's a judgment. And it's not like you need to change for other people. That's not the point. But just being aware of your impact and your influence, this can be a really good tool to have the impact you desire to have on people. Your head is always ruled by your heart, and you'll want to incorporate that so that your comments and your influence are always aligned with your heart and someone's not taking away something you wouldn't desire them to. Not that you have to take responsibility for everyone. It's just you want to kind of craft your impact. Okay. That's important to a yellow. Okay, green, patience, firmness, perseverance, assertiveness, nurturing, attentive, responsible, dedication, and gentle. Green people have a strong point in their auras as natural healers. Being in a presence of a person with a strong green aura is a peaceful, restful experience. The frequency resonates with the heart, the center of growth and healing energy. They actually radiate unconditional love and the life force that is connecting of all beings. It's like the collective love. You are around an open channel when you are around a green. And they're channeling just love from the entire universe. And it's coming right through the part of them that can love you. And so they have a sense of responsibility and service quite often. They're drawn to healing modalities as missions and as purposes. They're light workers. They have high ideals and aspirations because they know how important healing the planet and the people is. So these are really my light workers here. There's a lot of different ways to be a light worker, but my healers are green. Okay. Greens can sometimes fall victim to emotional dependency, kind of like a little bit like what was one of the other colors that did that? Pink can sometimes, if you get into kind of like a muddy color in your aura, it means that you might be even the victim of like emotional vampirism, which, not to sound overwhelming, is just basically others siphoning your energy because it feels good to them, but at the detriment of you. It could be over delivering, over serving, over healing, where you're pouring water into a balloon, but the balloon has holes. There's a never ending process of siphoning the energy. So just be really clear where you put your energy and who you allow to have access with you. Okay. It's really important. And also focus on your self-care and come back. Okay. Aldine, I know that if you're not sure what color your aura is, we did a little meditation before this, and you can go back and watch it on the replay. And that is maybe something that will give some insight for you. Okay. And I'm just going to keep going through these before we end here. So blue, devotion, trusting, empathetic, loyal, expansive, sensitive, intuitive, peaceful, and calm. Blues are caring and nurturing and protective. If I think of like Archangel Michael, I think of him between a blue and a purple, that protective sort of knight in shining armor kind of energy. Blues often are very connected to the missions of humanity and protecting animals and protecting people and protecting the planet. Blue people are here with natural psychic and intuitive gifts and the wisdom they need to anticipate, the situations that people would need protection from. So they are very, very in tune with people. They're very in tune with the world. They are also dreamers and artists. So they are often creative about the way that they choose to protect the world around them. They start revolutions. They start movements. This is kind of a blue sort of thing. A concern for blue could be rule keeping and rigid processes or rules regarding circumstances they're into. And sometimes they can be a little less creative and more strategic. So they'll want to open up to creativity from time to time to keep it intuitive. Teal or turquoise, communication, multitasker, truthful, serene, assertive, organized, influential, inclusive, and energized. Teal is all about being highly energized and influencing others with their strong points of view. Other than influencing people with their energy and positivity, like yellows, turquoise and teal people influence them with their charisma and their uniqueness. Their influence is because they have something different to say and to offer the world. They very, very, very much are natural influencers in any space, and they mark a person with natural gifts and communication in alignment with the mission that they particularly are supposed to be carrying out. They're unique. They march to the beat of their own drum as well, and they are natural born leaders. If it's murky or it's falling victim to kind of the shadow aspects of itself, it can have a tendency to be stressed or be in a negative mood. So it's important that the mission be fulfilling and there's not too much energy placed on who agrees or how many people are joining your revolution, but more the impact you're making to the individuals you serve. And violet or purple is magical, original, playful, eccentric, charming, liberal, sensible, charismatic, and delightful. Violet is a beautiful color. It is a spiritual color. It drives us to do something important with our lives. These are also our light workers on a mission to inspire mankind. We had some similarities to that with other colors, but the difference is violets and purples are visionary. They're futuristic. They have high ideals and hope. So a lot of the revolution that they'll create, the impact they'll make is with a vision into the future. It will be kind of like focused on where we're going or the big picture. Purple auras vibrate at a really high speed, and so their connection to the spiritual realm is really easy for them. So what they're doing when they're actually creating their vision for the future is they're actually using precognition, and their influence and their revolution is often guided by intuitive messages or spirit's guidance about the future. So it's very, very much about intuition when it comes to this person's influence. And the shadow aspects can be prone to depression or feelings of emptiness and aloneness when they feel disconnected, it's important for purples to stay connected. And the last two colors I will do is white and rainbow or sparkles. Okay, so white is spiritually highly evolved, purity, inner peace, angelic, higher guides, truth, soul, wisdom. If you found any white spots or any white around you, it's a beautiful color to have. It is really unconcerned with worldly or ambitious matters. It's really just concerned with purity and truth. And it is really kind of rare in our auras. It's mostly usually when people see white in your aura, it actually means that you have angel guides around you. If the white actually belongs to you, which I have seen before, this is someone who is sort of focused on their own inner spiritual work rather than being concerned at all about what's going on earth. Not in a bad way, but in a beautiful way where it's kept untainted and pure, that part of them. And so they're very, very much on a spiritual quest to find their own meaning and enlightenment in their life. Sometimes they can share it with others, but they would have other colors having an aspect of that. The white just shows the innermost journey of the person seeking enlightenment. And so white doesn't always have a murky color to it. It's a real pure thing. So I'm going to skip if it's murky. And last one is rainbows or sparkles. Okay. Rainbows and sparkles, dynamic, intense, imaginative, protected, spirit family, engaged, divine help, attractive, and purposeful. Rainbows is a combination of all the colors in the spectrum. So it's pretty much a highly evolved person or someone who is tapped in to every power in their spiritual arsenal because it is part of their mission. It doesn't mean they're better than anybody else. It just means they do have more tools because maybe their mission required them to be and to have something different. But it does mean that you've worked hard to integrate them, especially if they're all bright and shiny. And it also typically appears like in a directional method. So like a starburst, like getting a feeling that it's like moving out or it's like moving around this side of you. So it has a sort of a directional sense, the rainbow energy. So tune in if you felt rainbows or sparkles, tune into what it implies about the movement. Because often when you tune into these colors, you don't just sense the colors around you, you sense like a movement, a way that it moves. So be aware of that too. That'll tell you a lot. The shadow aspects of rainbow is that they often find themselves overwhelmed and overstimulated. You've got to shut down and rest rainbows. Okay. It's really, really important because if the energy is always moving high and fast, you're going to crash. So just make sure you're supporting yourself with what you need for downtime. Meditation is absolutely beautiful. Silence, that is also great. Okay, cool. So let's talk about right side, left side. Right side is your masculine side, and I'll go into this in more detail in other offerings that I do, but it indicates, what you project to others. The left side is how you feel about yourself and your kind of innermost colors and intentions. And the center of the aura is often the highest aspirations, whereas some of the other chakra areas adhere to messages that are connected with the chakra meanings. So I hope that was helpful and fun for you. I got through that. I know I'm a fast talker, so I hope you took down a couple notes. Let me read these comments here. Okay, yeah, Lizzie said, or Carol said green and blue. Lizzie said gratitude. Yes, for you too. A.F. Pulley, glitter and primary purple with gold, splash across the face. Yeah, so splashing across the face is like being able to say that the energy was very kind of around your third eye and your communication pieces, right? So interpret the messages about the color when it comes to your intentions and how you vision the third eye. Lizzie said sunshine yellow, crystalline sparkling green heart. Absolutely. Lizzie says, wow, have been described that way. Yeah. Our colors, our frequencies are just to see. It's when we open up our eyes, our inner wisdom to colors and frequencies, it's like a second sight, just like we can hear different sounds. Frequencies of color are light. And so just like sound having a particular signature, colors have a signature. And so it's really easy to pick up psychically colors, and you get better at it as time goes by. Okay, I have no idea what color my aura is. Yes, Aldine, check out the replay. Lizzie, yep, other sensitives say I have these qualities as well. And yes, I can form dependency on others. Have to learn to allow them not to drain me. Yeah, totally. And Carol, Aldine, AF Pulley, you guys are welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. So I know we had a long practice today, but I hope you found that fun. I love aura colors. And so let's end the day real quick with a card. I am just going to pull one quickly since I know our practice has been long today. Okay. Our card today is start before you're ready. Start before you're ready. I also pulled this card, 3 years. And so it's talking about a phase of life that we're starting, or a phase of a desired outcome, or a phase of a goal that has a long game to it. I love actually the long game cards because it doesn't mean that like it takes that long for success. It just means that the narrative of what you're trying to create, which could be success in a certain area, it continues. The narrative continues. So we're not talking about a short-lived desire or outcome. We're talking about something that reaches a level of structure and permanence for us. So the implementations that we're making right now to start before we're ready on our new ideas and goals and aspirations, they go on. There's indication of them into the future in a very foundational way. So you can take a minute on your own to write down a few messages about that card or any other card you pull, but I am going to let you go. I love you guys so much. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow on Good Morning Intuition. Mwah. Bye-bye for now.